Hello, people of the internet. Welcome back. This is Uncle Steve's Card Shop, giving you some information on Japanese boxes. And today I'm going to go ahead and revise and look at what is the best 5 boxes that I would invest in right now. This is going to be a starting overview, however, because this is all of the Sword and Shield era in Japanese boxes. I use ChatGPT for this. It is pulling off price charting. I think it's close enough to about right. From memory, Pokemon Go is going for around 75. 60 to 75 seems pretty reasonable, though. Dark Phantasma seems like the worst set. So we could see the bottom of a set, or a block rather, is looking around $60, give or take. I think V-Star Universe is actually going for higher also, so I don't agree with this. But again, this is a rough ballpark. And since it's skewing to lower, I think, from what I can tell, we are pretty safe to go off of this. So what are sets that we are looking at in the current era that are undervalued, essentially, based on what we're seeing here? You guys might be coming up with a few. Perhaps you are, perhaps you're not. But I got a few in mind, so let me go ahead and share them with you. To start off with my list, I have an honorable mention, Terrestrial Festival. Obviously, one of the most hyped sets and one of the best sets of the current block, or I guess previous block now, because we are in the Mega Block, baby. Yippee! Terrestrial Festival actually has some hits in it, which are really nice, and from what we could see here, you don't even need a hit to go up to $95 to $100. If you do have a hit, then you turn into $430, $520, something better. Blue Sky Stream is probably even higher than this. So we can see that Terrestrial Festival is actually a pretty damn good block. Or is a pretty damn good product because you actually have things to hit. But most likely, if we believe this is going to be the best-in-class product, which it could also be 151 by all means, we likely will see something along the lines of EV Heroes, or maybe we'll see something along the lines of EVAX Rising, in my opinion. Now, I'm not sure if I'm going to go crazy on this product. Obviously, I see the price is really high, but I thought it was an honorable mention if you are hunting for the best in breed, best freaking box in the last set. All right, let's keep going. At number 5 on my list, I have Battle Partners, obviously a more recent set. I know I have a top 5 list also, I will note, but I would like to keep about an even position in all of these. I am not trying to skew one way over the other. But obviously it's all price dependent, and the issue is your winners hopefully will cover your losers. Like if you did everything I'm saying more or less in this, some of the boxes you would have gotten pretty expensive when you got Space Shuttle or Dark Phantasma, but you're offset if you had the same amount of that as you had like EV Heroes or VMAX Rising, even hell, apparently Sword Base. So taking an even approach and finding good opportunities to get stuff. Ooh, Lost Abyss also, now that I mention it. Taking an even and kiltered approach is usually going to be your safest option. Battle Partners, however, where do we think this would land in the scale of last era? I think Battle Partners has a pretty good hit in Lily's Clefairy, which means I think it's higher up than Phantasma or Pokemon Go, which we can see how people feel about. Do we feel it's higher than VMAX Climax? I don't know, but maybe we can approach that, which a 2x on my money sounds pretty good to me. I don't know if it sounds good to you. And this becomes the kind of question that you have to figure out for yourself. Where do you think this is going to end up? I think it could end up somewhere here, potentially. I think this is definitely a range of outcomes that it could have. Give me just a moment. I have an alert on my phone. Like, for example, Explosive Walker here just has absolutely no hit at all, and it's already an $80 to $115 box. Probably will go even higher. So what? This box could easily get up to 120 then, let's just say. Because you could just sell it for what Rebel Clash goes for in the middle, so like 120 even. I know Rebel Clash has like nothing. Rebellion Clash. Just for example, booster box. Oh, no. Okay, give me a second. I'll find it for you guys. So, we found the Rebellion Clash booster box right here. Rebellion Clash booster box goes for... what is it? TCG player is asking for 200, but obviously it hasn't sold. Let's go look at the single cards. Tell me when you guys see what is worth anything here. That would make this a, according to my sheet over there, $105 box on the low end. Tell me what you'd have to pull. I think I'm proving a point here. I think you do not actually have to have absolutely anything of value to actually have your box be worth $100+. In this case, it's literally just old. This isn't even Pokemon hype either, because who the hell wants Rebellion Clash and who wants the stuff out of here? Someone does. And that's all you need, someone to want your box. But it also proves the point that you do not need a... Actually, I was going to use this for something else, but let's close that. You don't actually need a hit, even. But when you do have a hit, it helps. Let's just look at Blue Sky Stream. If it wants the Blue Sky. In Pokemon Japan. Oh, there we go. Booster box. Blue Sky Stream's up to $600 according to this. Let's look at how off TCG player is versus this. We have a sale for $550 for Blue Sky Stream. Like, this is just way off, but let's just use it for an example. Blue Sky Stream sold for $550. It has some hits in it, obviously. As soon as you have some hits, just some. How many hits we have? We have 2. We have 2, and now it's a $500 box. That's all you needed, $500. So when I'm suggesting to you battle partners, we got one major hit, obviously, and it's a good one. We have Lily's Clefairy, but what if Zoroark becomes worth a lot? What if Iona's Belly Bolt becomes something that people really fall in love with? These 3 for me, I mean, Hopsation also looks great, let's be honest, and Thresherm also looks good. The Articuno, and the Wailord. That's just, like, there are far more hyped up hits in this box than some of these older boxes. And for that reason by itself for me, I'm just sitting here going, wow. We could really get, we could really have something that is special on our hands. So where does it range in here? I think this box is going to be on one of the higher ranges of any of these boxes. And thus, for me, it hits my top 5. My issue with it is a current printing box. A reprint could lower the price, and that's why I would be careful about your allocation currently for buying it. At the same time, I don't know when they're going to reprint it. I don't know when they're going to reprint Terastal, if ever. I'm not Pokemon Japan. But that's why this is my number 5 pick. Let's go ahead and go to my next one. Here is number 4 on my list. We have Violet EX. An ancient box at this point for how we treat things. Violet EX is selling for around $55 to $60. $55 to $60. I believe it goes the way of Shield, which means it will go $95 to $130. Let's see if we have any sales for Shield, in fact. Shield. And Pokemon. I'll be right back. So, I don't have a perfect way of pulling it up on TCG Player, but that's fine. We have Shield over here in beautiful freaking... let's see. Astonishing Volt Tackle. Oh my goodness. Let's see if we can actually find the stuff that we're actually looking for. Give me a minute. Alright, so can't find the data point I'm looking for, but I can find this data point. Shield Booster Pack. One singular booster pack sold for $20. This is going to be my baseline for what the box is worth, even though it's not perfect. So let's say it's a $20 times 30 packs. $600 is apparently what someone would be willing to spend if they were going by the pack. Not something I would recommend doing, but let's say we even cut that in half. And let's say we cut it in half again. $150, maybe. Point is, price of the box is really freaking cheap. If I go back to wherever you went, oh my goodness. If I go back to Violet EX in Pokemon Japan, we are going to see that the box is ridiculously cheap for a product that is absolutely out of print, for a product that doesn't really have a great hit, but we do not require a hit, all things considered, based on what other things sell for. Would I take a lot of this? No, I'd be very careful. But we do have the Miriam, which some people will like. That is considered a hit. We have Miraidon. We have another Miriam over there, yada, yada, yada. And of course, we have the Drowsy, which some people love. Slowpoke right there. Some people might love that. For me, I think this is a safe box that's going to hopefully appreciate about 30% to around my floor price. I would hope for this box is around $75, which I think all Japanese boxes eventually get to. Hell, I bet Pokemon Go even got there. Let's see. For me, Pokemon Go is my barometer for the absolute floor product, by the way. If Pokemon Go can get there, anything can get there, because what was even in this box? And Pokemon Go is now an $80 box. What are we doing? $75 for free, $80. Like, what are we doing? Pokemon Go doesn't have anything in it. I guess you could say the Mewtwo, but I think, you know. Anyways, that's why for me, Violet seems like a safe-ish bet. But obviously, none of this is financial advice. None of this is completely safe. Who knows where anything goes? I'm a degenerate on the internet who sells Pokemon boxes to you and has a good time doing it. And hopefully you guys also have a good time watching me. Let's go ahead and get to my next one. My next box on this, number 3, probably interchangeable completely with my Violet box, honestly, is Snow Hazard. But that's because I can get Snow Hazard for a better price. I'm not so sure this is actually a good price for you guys. Snow Hazard, however, is very out of print. It was better priced before this big ol' hike when I first mentioned it to you guys when we were down, you know, under the, where would I mention? I would mention around $50, so we're at 60, something along those lines. Something about those lines sound right. And we're at 60 something dollars. So on second thought, I'm going to cross this out. Sorry, guys. This is not going to be a recommendation at these levels. I think we might miss the boat. Obviously, I think $70 is the bottom. $70 is the bottom. The hits are like Chien-Pao and all of these little guys. The Meryl's cool. Excalibur's cool. Like, there's a lot of cool stuff in the set. And that's why I personally have some Snow Hazard, but now I gotta find you guys a better solution. So let me retcon this and be right back. My retcon choice will be Cyber Judge. Cyber Judge is also starting to kind of go up a little bit, but we have a little dip here, which is nice. Cyber Judge is selling for around $50-ish. I would highly recommend getting under that $50 price point. But for the exact same reasons I've given, for the exact same reasons I believe in the other boxes, I think this could easily get to a $75 price point. And that's going to be my goal with Cyber Judge. Obviously, we have Bianca's Devotion, which is going to be a pretty decent chase depending on the waifus. Iron Leaves, Iron Crown, all these guys. I love the Sauce Buck and Deerling, honestly. If I could get PSA 10s of these, I'm going to get them. These would be joining my PC. Metagross looks cool. Lots of solid choices in here that could appreciate to making it, you know, like a single strike master. Probably not here. Maybe it gets the Heartbeat, I guess, because I don't think there's much in it. Yeah. There's plenty of things where it's just like, yeah, maybe you get the extra $10. I don't think it gets that. Maybe Star Burf you can get to as a cap. But obviously, I want to be careful of like that $65, $70 price point, like down here, which I don't think we're going to get to because we just looked at Pokemon Go being over $80. How in the world is Pokemon Go over $80, guys? But anyways, in terms of something that I would probably be grabbing some of, Cyber Judge will probably be in my next few orders to start building a sizable, well, I like to have 6 boxes, so half a case for my allocation for long-term investing. So Cyber Judge will probably join that, as some of my stuff has been selling ahead of time unintentionally, and I have to fill it out, so I have to get small orders to fill out my my orders over from Japan. This will probably be one of the first choices that join me. Let's go ahead and get to my second choice. This will pretty much be in the same category as the last one, for the exact same reasons. I like Future Flash. Future Flash has actually had a surge recently. You could have gotten this under $40 at earlier point last year when we were completely collapsed, when no one wanted this. So in some ways, you've already missed the boat. Maybe you have, maybe you haven't. You can get this for around $48 to $50. Sounds about right. There are still people getting this product. Get it for a cheap price because it was one of the It was part of the reprint cycle, but now it is still decent. I believe Future Flash, or not Future Flash, well, yes, Future Flash, sorry. Cyber Judge Future Flash for some reason confused me. Altaria, Iron Valiant, Iron Hands, yada yada yada. They have the Mousehold in the set. That's a pretty decent one. The Swablu, the Steelix, which people want in English, but apparently don't want as much Japanese. Why is that the case? I couldn't tell you. We go down digging, and there's some solid cards, but nothing crazy. And obviously, Altaria looks absolutely beautiful and sick. I love this Altaria. Huge Flash falls in the exact same category, however, as the last set we discussed, where I believe it's going to get to $75-ish a box. If you can get it for a good price from Japan, I would recommend it, because I believe you can still get it for the 45-ish range from Japan. Maybe gets the 50 off tariffs, and you just chill and get $75 to $85 most likely over time. And that's really the kind of things we're looking for in long-term investing. We are not looking for the quick flip. But yeah, let's go ahead and go to my number one choice. And not sure if people are going to agree with me, but let's get on over to it. My number one choice right now, I had to pivot in all honesty, because Stellar Crown was on my list. Stellar Crown has the exact same, is basically the exact same thing as everything else I was saying, or Stellar Miracle, I should say. But I felt like White Flare might actually be the number one choice as I looked into things. White Flare obviously has big hits. Like, you can get Reshiram, obviously. You can get both Reshirams for that matter. You can get Hilda. Hydreigon's beautiful. Oshawott great. Keldia's great. The art is amazing in the sets. So automatically, let's get rid of my recordings. It's going on the higher echelon of any of this. So that's safe already, right? That is my first thought. Second thought, it has a pretty big disparity from Black Bolt, which is already higher. Black Bolt is somewhere, let's get Black Bolt booster box. Black Bolt's all the way up to $92, 90 something dollars. Well, and my third reason is the price that you can actually get White Flare for, as I did the math, was about $70 with all tariffs included. If you find a good source, that is a pretty great price you can get it for. Obviously, I am not that direct source. I will pretty much always match market price on this, so I'm going to be asking about $81 and then shipping. If you can find yourself that source, though, that would be my highest recommendation. They'll probably be $70 and then some amount of shipping, so $75-ish. We're close. If you want to support me, and if I have White Flare available, I obviously be happy to sell it to you, and then I will go purchase more at this price point, as I'm mentioning here. And that's how we have a win-win. If you guys don't want to figure it out yourself, or don't want to do tariff papers or anything else that tariffs are going to make you do, I don't know. I just put in my first order for post tariffs, so we will see how bumpy that ride looks. But yeah, White Flare, I think it's going to end up on the higher echelon of things. Obviously, Black Bolt's the more desirable product, and I have a little bit too much Black Bolt than I want to have, honestly, but I keep cycling through it, so we'll see how that turns out. I ended up with some Team Rocket. I ended up with a bunch of things that I am a little iffy on for the long term. Somehow we end up talking about Team Rocket. I think Team Rocket will obviously go up over time. I just don't think it's going to be ridiculously up. I think it'll end up like, I don't know, it has like a couple hits. Maybe we get to Lost Abyss prices, hopefully. Hopefully. If I'm stuck with it, that is. Well, we'll see. Like, Paradigm Trigger is nowhere near $80 to $95, so that seems more realistic. Paradigm Trigger. Booster box. Oh, maybe it is. About a $90 box, $100 box. Okay, let's say Team Rocket, I think, gets to about $100. That would be my guess, which seems about reasonable. Obviously, all these price targets are hypothetical. We cannot know how this market's going to shake out. We can't know anything for sure. So, do your due diligence. Look at the fast boxes. See how those turned out. That's what I've chosen to do, and that's what I tried to do before making my orders and making my speculation. And see how you think this is going to turn out in the long term, and be willing to hold for 20 plus years, because who knows what you're gonna who knows where we're gonna end up. Pokemon could collapse, and then we're chilling on older products for a while, and then eventually someone's gonna want it because of some of the stuff in it. Because as the younger generation grows up, some of these boxes or Pokemon that they will have nostalgia for will gain value over time. Also, you can sell stuff by the pack. Selling stuff by the pack is a tremendously bigger profit margin. Anyways, that's everything for me today. Hopefully this helped you guys out. Stellar Miracle is also somewhere in that top 5, 6 list now. I don't even know what we're going to call this. Try to make you guys a nice video. Obviously, I don't like to do scripted stuff. I had some cuts in this video, but I don't have any script on my side here. I'm just checking and make sure stuff looks okay. I hope that this is helpful. I don't think people are going to even make it this far. I think if anything, people skip to my number 1, number 2, number 3 choices, but who knows. Anyways, have a good day, guys. Feel free to ask any questions. Obviously, be very responsible. I've said this multiple times. Be responsible with your money. Do not all in Pokemon. It is not worth all inning. Things can go sour. We don't know when, but hopefully it holds up for a while. All right. Have a good night. Have a good day. Whenever you're watching this. Bye-bye.